Hello, Corey here from the Bach Scholar YouTube channel. Thank you for joining me. This is a really exciting video I have for you. Quite a long video. I haven't made it yet, but I anticipate will be pretty long because it's on a topic near and dear to my heart and a controversial topic, pedaling in Bach. But before I go into that, I just want to make a little announcement here. It's around mid-August 2024 as I make this video. Back to school season is right around the corner. We're having 20% off sales at the Bach Scholar website on digital sheet music, 20% off on all digital sheet music through September 29th, 2024. And also at the Well-Rounded Pianist, our subscription website with over 2,700 videos as I speak. These videos are not, most of them are not on YouTube. They're private videos for members only. And you may go over to the Well-Rounded Pianist and purchase a lifetime membership for 20% off. This is a great deal because it pays itself off in only about 5 years. It is a great deal. If you're going to be at this for several years, it pays itself off. So you might want to consider that. We only have these sales a couple times each year. So you want to take advantage of it right now while you can in this back to school sale. So 20% off sheet music, 20% off lifetime memberships at the Well-Rounded Pianist, and you can learn piano from yours truly. Also, one more announcement. My wife Marilyn and I teach piano remotely with Skype and Zoom to students all over the world, and we are having our waiting list being filled up now for the fall starting in September. So if you're interested in piano lessons, any age, young, middle, old, it's all for everyone. If you want to experience piano lessons for either the first time or continuing lessons if you've had lessons in the past, please get in touch with us. We'd love to have you in our studios this fall in September. This topic is, I'm surprised I haven't done this earlier because it's something that I think about a lot. It's something I debate about a lot with other friends and pianists. And it's the whole topic of pedaling in Bach. Now, as I was trying to decide what to call this video, I opted out of calling it "Should You Use Pedal in Bach?" That's sort of the standard way to do it. Everyone has these kinds of videos. Should you use pedal in Bach? Well, I can answer that in one word. Yes, you should. So why make a video that says that, why make a video where the title is "Should You Use Pedal in Bach?" Of course you should. Of course you should. You're playing the piano, so you have to use pedal. But my particular perspective is when to use pedal, how much to use pedal, and what options are there for you. Because we're playing a piano, a very rich musical instrument with a pedal on it, a damper pedal that gets great. Don't you want Bach to sound nice on the piano? If so, I think you would really like it with pedal. But for some reason, pedaling in Bach has become a very controversial kind of topic. So before I go over my examples here, by the way, I have a little outline here of examples that I'm going to go over. I may deviate a little bit. You probably won't know when I deviate from my own notes, but sit back, get yourself a cup of coffee or tea, and we will go over some examples here of the official title of this video is "How I Use Pedal in Bach." Since I use that title, it takes me off the hook from any bad comments. So if I made a video that said, "Should you use pedal in Bach?" and then I went and showed you all these things, then of course I'd get all these people, the anti-pedal people, making bad comments and things. So by calling it "How I Use Pedal in Bach," well, you don't have to agree with it, you don't have to do it, I'm just showing you how I do it. So enough of that. Now, I know I keep doing this. Before we start, let's do it. Okay, Before I start, you might want to watch my video first. It's called, I have to read the title, How to Use Pedal in Sight Reading and Harmony and Bach chorales. Okay, How to Use Pedal in Sight Reading and Harmony and Bach chorales. Very exciting title. You might want to watch that video first. It's a 24-minute video where I go into detail on how to use the pedal when playing Bach chorales, like from Sight Reading and Harmony, for example. This is very relevant to the examples that I'm going to show you here from actual keyboard music. I know the Bach chorales are not actually for keyboard necessarily. They're more generic kind of compositions or vocal compositions that you can play on the piano. So Bach didn't really think of the piano when he was writing his chorales, but we can make them very pianistic, and by using the pedal, you make these chorales a little more pianistic sounding and exciting and more warm sounding. Also, I'm just going to open up the book here to a random chorale here, and I'm going to show you. Of course, you need to watch more of my video, How to Use the Pedal in Bach chorales in Sight Reading and Harmony. But you know, if I take something like this. By the way, I'm playing from page 45, number 45 from part 4 of Sight Reading and Harmony. I'm playing the grades 9 to 10 line. Let me do that again. Listen carefully now. I'm going to play, this is just chosen at random. I didn't really plan this. Okay, I'm going to play it. I'm going to demonstrate for you with absolutely no pedal at all. And then then we'll go and I'll play it with pedal. So listen carefully. What I'm going to do, I'm not going to use any pedal at all. And I'm going to try my best to connect everything with the fingers. Okay? So I'll play it a little slower too. Sorry about that. So. Let's go repeat. Now, it may have sounded good if you know, it sounds okay, but to my ears it sounds very dry, very dry. There's gaps, there's holes. Okay, now I'm going to fill in those gaps with pedals. So you might not be able to see my foot exactly, but you'll see my leg moving a little bit. So. Wrong here. Let's see. There you go. I like the sound much better with pedal. You can like it dry, you can like it with no pedal if you want, but I think that when you put pedal on, it's like adding caulk to the holes. If you ever have repaired a window or a bathroom tiling or something like that, you know, the caulk that goes between the tiles to keep it nice and secure, or caulk on windows to keep it 100% secure so air doesn't get in. It's like you're using the pedal as a little caulking device to help connect all those little gaps. So once again, okay, let me choose another chorale, just one more. I'm going to choose one here, A minor, page 71. This is just at random here. So page 71, grades 9 to 10. I'm going to play it first with no pedal. So. you, I did a good deal of connection with the fingers. It's fine, it's good, but it's even better with pedal. So now listen to this. Let's do a repeat. Love that cadence at the end. That's a Phrygian cadence. I love Phrygian cadences. Do you hear how much more musical that is with pedal? How can you not use pedal when playing Bach? Now, I know that, like I said before, these chorales are not they're not necessarily piano music per se. So let's get to some real piano music. The reason why I'm showing you these chorales is because there's a very close correlation between playing chorales and playing, like, say, fugues or polyphonic music by Bach on the piano, because a fugue, really, all a fugue really is. I have Well-Tempered Clavier Book 1 here, my old battered copy of it. Really, the only when you take a fugue, okay, let's take fugue number one from Book 1. Okay, I'm just going to play it kind of slowly. I'll just stop there. So I didn't use any pedal for like about the first 3 measures, and then when the third voice came in like measure 4, I started to incorporate some pedal in there, because otherwise this is just like a chorale or a hymn. If you take out the 16th notes, all a fugue is, especially like this fugue number 1, it's a very dense fugue. All it really is harmonies, vertical harmonies, 4-part harmonies, 3 and 4-part harmonies, vertical, connected with little passing tones. Those little passing tones are 16th notes. So let's do a little experiment. I'm going to play this, and I'm going to take out all of the 16th notes. I'm doing this at sight. I haven't really done this yet, so I'm sort of improvising here. But I'm doing a little experiment. I'm going to play a little bit of fugue number 1, take out all the 16th notes, and turn it into a chorale. Turn it into a Bach chorale. So let's see if we can do that. Okay. And I know I'm changing those note values. Sorry. So you have these harmonies. Those are just chords. They're chords connected with 16th notes. So do you hear a resemblance with what I was playing with the fugue? I'm just taking out the 16ths, playing mostly just chords, which pretty much fall on every 8th note and quarter note, depending on the fugue. This particular fugue, all the chords fall on the 8th note. There are other fugues where the main chords fall on the quarter note. So the tempo will depend to a large part on that. So generally speaking, when the harmonic rhythm, it's called, when the harmonic rhythm is on the 8th note in fugues like this, it's a good indication that it's a slower fugue. Good indication. Not all the time, but that's a good indication that it's slower rather than faster. Whereas if you have a more sparsely notated fugues, like fugue number 2, it's only 3 parts or 3 voices, and you have the subject. The subject is more horizontal. So, but you do have chords. So if you were to make chords out of this, you would have I can't even do it. I'm trying to. If you let's slow it down. Okay, I'm going to play from measure 7. That was really nice. That was measures 6 and 7. I was basically just playing those harmonies and taking out the 16th notes. Really, it's basically a chorale. So this is why chorales are so important, because for Bach, they provided the framework for all of his music. Virtually all of Bach's music is founded or based on chorales. 4-part chorales. I think I want to really drive this in, because pianists don't realize this fact, that the 4-part chorale is the foundation of Bach's entire compositional system. The 4-part chorale also needs pedaling, so we need pedal. But certain fugues will require more or less pedal than others. So generally speaking, and this is really a take-home message here that I'm going to tell you. Generally speaking, the slower the piece, the more pedal you will want in it. So if you have a nice slow fugue, like fugue number 1, I'm going to just play from like measure 7. I'll play from measure 7 here, and you can hear. I'm going to play it slowly with pedal. About half of that I didn't even use pedal in. I'm in measure 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Measure 7 in fugue number 1. Okay, let's go over this again. So pedal, 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 pedal. You can leave the pedal down there. Now when you get here, when measure 9, when you get to measure 9, there you're not going to use pedal, because you see you have the bass, the lower voice starts to have 16th notes in it. What happens when you put pedal when you have lots of 16ths? It's very muddy sounding. So you can get away with pedal virtually on every 8th note beat in measures 7 and 8. Measures 7 and 8 need pedal. If you're playing these with no pedal, you're crazy. You need pedal there. Pedal helps everything. Once again. Now when you get here, no pedal. And also you can bring out the alto voice, because that has the subject in it there. So back off the other voices a little bit and bring out the alto. Not too much though. No pedal. But when you get here, right here, you can use pedal there. And that's the next point I want to make. The next point I want to make about pedaling is cadences. Cadences can always use a little pedal. So whenever you come to a sort of a final chord of a phrase or the final chord of a piece, it's often very helpful to use pedal there, because I'm in measure 10 here, by the way. I'll play measure 10 again. So when you get here, if you don't use pedal, then it sort of, that's okay, it's sort of abrupt, but it helps the end of the phrase a little bit if you just add a little bit of pedal. It just softens it up a little bit. The cadences. Okay, let's go to the very end. Pedal, pedal. So always use pedal at the end of pieces. Almost always. Actually, that is one place I would almost always use pedal, is the end of pieces, the very end of pieces. Let's turn to the prelude, for example. If you're going along the end here, if you're going, okay, I'm going to use no pedal. Now listen, I'm going to play this chord, I'm going to release. It's a quick release. So when you release your hand, if you play a chord and you release it, it's just cut off. There's no reverberation. This is not good, actually. You don't want to just cut things off unless it's really appropriate for the style of the music, like maybe Prokofiev or 20th century composition. If you want something really dry. But I think that if anywhere could benefit from pedal, even if you don't use pedal anywhere in Bach, if you don't use pedal anywhere, you can always use it at ends. Because let me show you what the difference is. If you play the final chord with no pedal, and then release, it's a cutoff. If you use pedal, you release your hands, and then you slowly release the pedal. Do you hear how much better that is? So once, no pedal, release. Now, with pedal, release your hands first, and then just slowly release the pedal. Don't like come off it really quickly. Slow release. So pedal, hands up, slow release. You want to practice that. This is a really important technique to practice. One of the very most important things about pedal playing is the release on final chords. If you can just get this, if you can just get final chords, that's half the battle of using the pedal right there. And as an added benefit, if you apply this to Bach chorales, you'll even improve your pedal playing more. So if you're playing chorales out of sight reading and harmony or from other books, do use pedal. Try to use pedal. Don't try to connect everything always with the fingers. It's going to backfire. It's no fun. It's too academic. It's dry sounding, and you'll have a much better time if you try to use pedal. Just try to clear the pedal so there aren't any reverberations from the former chords. Okay, so final chords. Final chords can always use pedal. Always use pedal. You know, okay, fugue, let's take like, I don't know, let's take like, I'm going to take the end of Prelude 5 in D major. And then release, and then slow release the pedal. Okay, don't do this. Don't go all that and then release. That's really dry. So you have to have, well, first of all, you want pedal here. Because that's a full. It's a full 7 chord. And then pedal there. And then release your hands, and then release the pedal. It's done in that way. Release the hands, then the pedal. Okay, so another place that I would use pedal, of course there's many ways to play things. Okay, you can play things like Glenn Gould. You can do things any way you want. You could no pedal. No pedal. I like that. Nice. It's kind of nice. It's a very, very thin kind of sound. No pedal. It's very pure kind of sound. No pedal. It's good. It's fine. But then now let's compare that to there are various ways you can use the pedal. You can use. Let's experiment a little bit. Let's try a lot of pedal throughout the whole measure. I like that very much. I did one pedal change each measure. Once at the beginning, and that's all. Now I'm going to do it again, and I'm going to do it 2 times in the measure now. I'm going to pedal on the half note, see what compare. I like that one the best. And it's not necessarily, I don't like it the best because it allows the 8th note rest to be heard, because I believe that you should very often pedal over rests. So just because a rest is in music does not always necessarily mean that you have to clear the pedal. Rests just mean your finger isn't on the note. It doesn't mean necessarily that it requires no pedal. So keep that in mind when you decide whether something should have pedal or not. It's the whole issue of the sound. The sound, and what I would suggest doing is take an easy piece like this, quote unquote easy. It's funny, this is like the easiest piece in the well-tempered clavier, the first piece, everything else is pretty hard. So what I would do is take this prelude, or another easy piece that requires lots of pedal, and do some experimentation. Play it with no pedal, then play it maybe with a certain pedaling, like in this case, 1 time a measure, and then try it 2 times a measure. Compare the two. If you really want to go for it, you can record those, say on a device like an iPhone or a tablet or something. Record those 3, just a few measures of each, and record the sound and compare them. I find that very often I like more rather than less pedal in Bach. I know that many pianists like to, brag in a way about how they can play with no pedal. I think Andras Schiff did this once. I think he makes a big deal about he plays Bach with no pedal. Well, whoop-de-doo, good. That's great, Sir Andras. You can use no pedal, but I'll use pedal because it's always better with pedal. So yeah, Sir Andras. Okay, yeah, okay. So he plays Bach with no pedal. Does that make him better than everyone? Well, no, it doesn't. So you have to come to your own conclusions on pedaling. Okay, so let's go on and move into, one of my favorite of all preludes here of Bach, the B-flat minor prelude from Book 1. let's see. I remember I played this prelude and fugue in one of my degree recitals in school. Anyway, we have this. Absolutely beautiful. Ooh, I love this piece with pedal. Okay, now let's try it with no pedal. Okay, no pedal. This is a miserable experience. Absolutely miserable. If you want to prove to yourself that Bach should have pedal, simply take this prelude in B flat minor, prelude number 22 from book 1, play a little bit of it like I just did with pedal in an expressive fashion, expressive romantic fashion, you know. Just beautiful. It's always been one of my favorite pieces. I can't play this with no pedal. Well, I can. I'll do it in a second, but it's against me. I can't do it. Try it. Try it. You'll prove to yourself that Bach needs pedal. Play it with pedal, then do this with no pedal. So if you do that, it kind of makes you want to play the 8th notes a little detached, which is fine. It's a different way of doing it. To my ears, it's very lethargic, very weak. It's like somebody's going to die. It's weak, no life. Okay, so let's take this no pedal, and the reason why I'm choosing this prelude is because it's impossible, not virtually impossible, it is impossible to connect every note perfectly with the fingers. So in order to avoid having to work so hard, you just use pedal. So you can work really hard to connect with no pedal, but the bottom line is, you can make it sound pretty good. It's pretty musical that way. It's not bad necessarily, but it's just so much better. Pedal, 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 pedal. Now, in measure 3, when I get here, in measure 3, he throws the subject down in the main melody, down in the bass. There's where you don't want pedal, just like I showed you in that other piece earlier, because if you add pedal to this register with scale notes, it's blurry. So this shows you one of the rules with pedaling is be very careful about pedaling, and even use no pedal usually, whenever you have scale passages, especially in this range on the piano. So the first 4 measures of this prelude freely use pedal on every 8th note. Pedal, 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 pedal. So my foot is going to the rhythm of the music like that. But then when I get to measure 5, or no, when I get to measure 3, I have at least that bit, no pedal there. But when you get to the end, when you get there, you can use pedal, and then no pedal on that beat either, because you have those 16ths in the left hand in the bass. Pedal, no pedal, pedal, keep the pedal down here. Even though these kind of clash, that's a passing tone, it kind of clashes with the pedal, but this brings up another rule with pedaling is whenever you're high enough in the register, the pedal can be used more. So be careful of pedal when you're low, when you have low notes, and be more liberal with pedal when you have higher writing here. So you can use a lot more pedal when you're up in higher registers up here. So basically that's how I would do pedaling in this B flat minor prelude. I would pedal every 8th note except when there are 16th notes that you don't want to blur. And then be very liberal with pedal. Here I'm approaching the end here in measure 22. I'm pedaling on the 16th note because I'm doing a little retardando here. So I have pedal, 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 and now you can play either the chord or you can roll the chord, whatever you want to do there. But whatever you do, remember the rule. Use pedal there. However you play that, release the hands first, then slow release the pedal then. Then you have your cadence at the end there. So don't just chop it off. Don't do this. Again, do not do this. Don't do this. Oh, that was pretty bad. Cut off. That's ridiculous. You don't want to do that. So do a little bit of slow down, a little bit of crescendo, hold the pedal, then just a little breather, and then continue at the end. So you can really get creative with your musicality with how you do these things at cadences, and the pedal only enhances things. The pedal only enhances things. So if you're playing Bach and you're proud of the fact that you can play Bach without any pedal, and you're great, and you brag to all your friends how you can play all the Bach fugues with no pedal, so great. Well, you can just call up Sir Andras and you can talk about how great you are because you can play everything with no pedal. Because I've heard Andras do that, Sir Andras. So anyway, let's go on to, Sinfonia number 5. So I want to show you various options you have for Sinfonia 5. This is a beloved piece. I know a lot of people love this piece, but it's atypical for Bach's sinfonias. It's the one that goes like this. I know I didn't play all the ornaments. There's lots of ornaments in here. You can either play or not play. I just left them out to simplify it a little bit. But I know that I'm doing something here that is called finger pedaling. You've probably heard this term before. I know that Robert Estrin, the pianist and piano sale person on YouTube, Robert Estrin has a video on pedaling in Bach, and he talks about finger pedaling. This is a good example where to employ finger pedaling. It sounds great. So you can also use some pedal. Nothing wrong with pedal here. Or you can do it holding the note instead of letting go of them, like it says. They're 16th notes. You can just hold them down like a broken chord that's simply held down. I like that approach. Then when I get to this note on the second beat, this is in the style of a sarabande. Sarabandes have usually accentuated second beats, so it helps to bring out the second beat. Pedal. Then do whatever you want with your ornaments. pedal, and then you can hear it going to the second beat. Pedal, 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 pedal. That's how I would, one way, that's one option to do this. Another option is just the really dry option, which on some days I actually like. I was experimenting with this and I think, yeah, that sounds really good. I like that. It's kind of the Glenn Gould approach. So let's do the Glenn Gould approach now and see how that sounds. No pedal, and I'm gonna play these sort of pizzicato style. It's nice. Nice. Oh, makes you float. It's floaty music. You know, and this is one of those pieces where there's 1,000 ornaments and you never know which ones to do. There's an ornament, there's a mordant, and there's a turn. But you can't, it sounds ridiculous if you try to do both at the same time. I think it's better just to choose one. Because this piece can sound very highly over-ornamented if you're so obsessed with all these ornaments in it. I'm playing, by the way, from the Alfred edition here. I couldn't find my Peters edition, which I like, so I'm using this instead. So there's an option. You can do the Glenn Gould approach, no pedal, or you could go in between. You could do sort of the Glenn Gould approach, the pizzicato, and then use pedal here. Pedal, pedal. I like that actually very much. I might actually do it that way. But you know, one of the problems that I have is, and this is a good thing I think, is I get so excited about different ways of playing things. You know, I love playing it like this. I like the sort of Brahmsian approach of using pedal. And I also like that more intimate kind of pizzicato approach too, that I call the Glenn Gould approach. I think both are good. You can play musically and use either approach, but it doesn't make one better than the other. And that one of the problems I have is just deciding what I want to do. I'll often have 3 different ways of playing something. It's 3 totally different ways of playing something. And I don't know. One day I like it one way, another day I like it another way. So this is one of the dangers of getting too dogmatic about things like using pedal in Bach is you can get into these camps. And I think it's best just to view the whole thing as one big, huge camp. And don't have the no pedaling camp and the pedaling camp, but it's everything. Bach can be romantic and Bach can be not romantic. It's not bad to play romantic Bach. So let me show you, with that being said, I want to show you, okay, let's go to the last example here. Menuette from Partita number 5. Okay, good. This is a really good example because I chose this for a good reason. So Partita number 5, Menuette. It says tempo di minuetto, tempo di minuetto, tempo of a minuet, and it is in 3/4 time, but Bach does a really crazy thing. He makes it sound like 6/8 time. So what should be 3 minuets are usually, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. So this is what he does. He doesn't do it 1, 2, 3. He takes that 8th note B and he groups it into threes. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. So he has like, basically it's like 6/8 time. He notates it in 3/4, but it sounds like it's in 6/8 time. So it really isn't a true minuet. I mean, I'm sure a dancer could dance a minuet to it because it has the same overall sort of macro timing, like to the measure, but within the measure it's in 6/8, so it totally doesn't sound like a minuet. But I particularly love this one for pedal because you can play it dry and then you can play it not dry. And there's a big, big difference between those. Have an open mind with this, and I know that this is going to, you know, anger some people to put pedal in here in this particular piece, but it's usually played, yeah. Sorry. Let me do that again. Sorry about that. And then he goes into 3/4 time in just the last two measures. And what he's doing is when he gets to the top, he has a little melody up here on top, but it's not very hard. I know it might look hard, but it's really not. It's very fluent under the fingers. So you can play this dry. Or you could play it, make it romantic with pedal. Love that. I love that. That is so much better than this. And also, everyone does it too fast. They'll... You know, instead of trying to do some show-off piece like that, it's really not. Minuets are not fast. Okay? So, just keep it moderate. And put on pedal. Do a little crescendo. When you get there, a little tiny ritardando. Then go on. Let's go on. This is really cool. Ooh, that's really nice. Now try it the dry way. Now try it the better way. Ooh, that's really romantic sounding. About that. I haven't played this in a while. Pedal, 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 pedal. Ooh, a nice diminished pedal all the way through there. But when you get to these quarter notes, I like make those more pizzicato. I like that. Pedal. I think he wants you to cross. Now when you get here, This actually sounds more like a minuet. Here I probably wouldn't use much pedal. And then when you get there, put the pedal back on. So no pedal here, and measure 41. Pedal. No pedal here. So you're using pedal here. Pedal, pedal, pedal. Pedal. I keep playing C sharp. Now no pedal. Pedal, pedal. Okay? So you need to know when to use pedal and when not to use pedal. This is one of my favorite of all examples from Bach to show how great the pedal is to use Bach. So I want you to do some experimentation. Take the tempo di Menuette, play it a variety of different ways with pedal. Do some experimentation. And I am almost certain that you will come to the conclusion that Bach needs pedal. But now it's just a question of when and how much and the mode at which you're playing it. The mode at which you're playing it. I don't even know if that makes sense, but I just threw that in just to sound smart. So I hope you got something out of this. I really do. I want to help you out. I want to help you learn Bach and play it better. So I know I made a lot of wisecracks about Sir Andras. I like his playing in general. Sometimes I don't, but in general I do. So I don't want to, don't make a big deal about that. I remember Sir Andras making the comment, and it sounded like he was sort of bragging or, about the fact that he could play all this Bach with no pedal. And I just think it's wrong. It's just wrong. Bach needs pedal, and this is how I use pedal. So thank you for joining me. I hope you got something out of this video. I know it was very long, but I hope you'll get something out of it. And sign up for piano. Take advantage of our sales, and until the next video.